Hello friends, this is Jana from the Milwaukee Letting Library, here with another story to share with you. Now today I brought my friend Turtle and Owl, and they're going to talk about their houses. Turtle is lucky because Turtle carries his house right on his back. He has this shell where he can hide or tuck up inside and sleep. And sometimes when he's feeling a little shy, he might even climb inside that shell. You can't even see his head. There he is. We're going to start with a rhyme about that turtle. So hold out one hand. This is your turtle. And it goes like this. I had a little turtle. He lived in a box. He swam through the water and he climbed on the rocks. He snapped at a mosquito, he snapped at a flea, he snapped at a minnow, and he snapped at me. He caught the mosquito, he caught the flea, he caught the minnow, but he didn't catch me. Phew, phew. Try that one more time. Hold out your turtle hand. It goes like this. I had a little turtle. He lived in a box. He swam through the water and he climbed on the rocks. He snapped at a mosquito. He snapped at a flea. He snapped at a minnow and he snapped at me. He caught the mosquito. He caught the flea. He caught the minnow, but he didn't catch me. What a relief. All right, so Turtle lives in his shell, or maybe in a box. But what about Owl? Where do owls usually live? What does an owl call home? Oh, I think you're right. I think they usually live in trees. Yeah, I think they burrow down in a tree. But I have a story for you today about an owl who built a house. Let's go find out what happens when Owl builds a house. So here's our friend Owl in today's book, which is called Two Tall Houses. Oh, what animals do you see on the cover of that book? There's our friend Owl, but what about that animal with the long ears? Is that a rabbit? This book is written and illustrated by Gianna Marino. It's published by Viking, which is an imprint of Penguin Random House. We're reading it today with their permission. Excuse me, Owl. Oh, now here's a sunset with two little animals sitting on the hill. Pretty dark, but can you see that one has big long ears? I think that might be Rabbit. Two tall houses. Rabbit and Owl lived in two small houses on top of a hill. Look, you can see Rabbit's long ears. Those houses are pretty close together, aren't they? Rabbit liked to grow vegetables in the sun, and Owl enjoyed the view of the forest. Owl sat on the roof while Rabbit worked in the garden. Oh, those are some bright orange pumpkins in that garden. In the evening, they played together under the twilight sky. They were good neighbors and good friends. Look, they're playing with a rope. Whee! Until one day... Uh-oh. What do you think's going to happen? Do you have any guesses? Let's find out. Rabbit, Owl complained. Your garden is growing too tall. I can't see the forest. But what can I do? Replied Rabbit. I have to grow my food. So Owl can't see the forest anymore. What do you think Rabbit should do about it? Owl had an idea. So Owl began to build his house taller. Rabbit watched and chittered. He made a little noise like that. He chittered his teeth. Look, Rabbit is standing on his tippy toes on top of that pumpkin watching. Do you think Rabbit is happy about Owl's decision? Rabbit looks a little bit worried. Owl, look what you did. Your house is blocking the sun from reaching my garden. But I have to see the forest, said Owl. So Rabbit built his house taller too and planted some vegetables right up on the roof. But now when Rabbit watered his rooftop plants, so look, Rabbit's carrying that water all the way to the roof to water his vegetables. What do you think is going to happen when Rabbit waters the plants? Oh, look at that. It rained right on Owl's head. And how is Owl feeling now? Can you tell? Owl is not happy. It made Owl very angry. So Owl built his house even taller. Now look at Rabbit. I want to be the tallest, yelled Rabbit. Look, Rabbit's jumping up and down. He's so angry. I want to be the tallest. What do you think Rabbit's going to do? What would you do if you were Rabbit? Do you think he can build his house any taller? What? Screeched Owl. You are so far below me that I can't hear you. Look, there's Rabbit way down there. So Rabbit built his house even taller and built a fence around his garden. Oh my goodness, they're both going taller and taller. When will it stop? Who do you think you are? Screeched Owl. Look, Owl has a little plant on his head. I think something fell off Rabbit's garden. Owl went to find more twigs for his house. And Rabbit went to fetch more soil for his house. He has a big pile of dirt. He's going to build his house taller. When do you think this will end? They just both keep building taller houses. Oh, look at this. We have to turn the book the other way. Oh, look, they're way up here, way up high in the sky. And soon they had the 2 tallest houses in the world. Look, they go all the way down here before they connect to the world. Oh, wow. Owl, I can't carry water up my ladder, cried Rabbit. Look at that long ladder. And I can't see the forest, said Owl. Now look at how everything is blowing. I think it must be very windy up there. They're so high up there, it's windy. Way up high, the wind roared and bellowed. Oh, can you make the sound of the wind and maybe wave your arms around? Whoosh, creak. Uh-oh. It's so windy, I think those houses are starting to fall. Look out! And look, here's all the vegetables flying through the air. The wind blew 2 tall houses into the air. Crack! Whoosh! Hold on, Rabbit, cried Owl. Look, he's just barely hanging on to that ladder, and so is Rabbit, hanging on tight. Their houses are blowing away. Do you think they're going to be okay? Do you think they'll land back on Earth? Oh, they did. They landed with a plunk. Oh, All I have left is a pile of dirt, moaned Rabbit. My house is a bunch of broken twigs, sighed Owl. Alone, they had nothing. Both of their houses had been destroyed. But together, they had all they needed. Look, they're starting to collect things. Rabbit has a big wagon full of dirt and some vegetables. Owl is starting to pick up some twigs. Together, they had all they needed to build one small house. Oh, it looks perfect. It's just right for both of them. They can both sit on the roof, and they have room for a garden. There they are on their new one small house. What a nice story. So Owl and Rabbit figured out a way to build a house that was just right for both of them. Do you think maybe they'll invite a friend over to see their house now? Maybe to play with them? Who would you invite over if that were your house? Would you invite over Quack? Quack, quack, quack. Would you invite your friend Duck? Maybe. Or maybe, what about that animal with the long nose? Who's that? Elephant? Elephant's pretty big. I'm not sure elephant will fit. Maybe, what about this animal with the big antlers? Do you know what that animal's called? Is it a moose? Oh, it'd be fun to invite Moose over, but Moose is pretty big too. What about this animal right here? Do you think they might invite a turkey to see their house? That's a good idea. Look, this turkey has bright, colorful feathers. Do you see some colors that you know? What's that? Red? Purple? Orange? Oh, I see. Pink? Yellow? This one's kind of like yellow, maybe a gold color. And this one's a little hard to see. It's actually green. So we're going to finish with a song about a turkey. Hold up 2 hands and wiggle your fingers. These are going to be your turkey feathers right here wiggling. The song goes like this. I met a little turkey, he lived at the zoo. He had so many feathers, he didn't know what to do. He shook them to the left, he shook them to the right. He shook them and he shook them and he shook them out of sight. Just like that. Try it one more time. Hold up your 2 hands and wiggle those turkey feathers. I met a little turkey, he lived at the zoo. He had so many feathers, he didn't know what to do. He shook them to the left, he shook them to the right. He shook them and he shook them and he shook them out of sight. Just like that. Thank you so much for joining me at Storytime today. See you next time, friends. Bye-bye.